Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Subscribe, comment, and like without smashing anything. And let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Libra. Libra, I've already got jumpers for your overlying and underlying energy. There's a lot going on this table already before we even pull the energy oracle. Once we get the energy oracle come out, we'll show you the overlying and underlying energy. But I will tell you that when I was getting the jumpers for the Akashic deck, it looked like 3 cards came out and it ended up being 6. So you have 6 cards from the Akashic deck. Of course, they all tie together. And then for the Universal Law deck, we have 1 overlying and 1 underlying energy, which also goes along with the Akashic deck as usual. So we'll show you those cards as soon as we get the ones to come out for these. All right, not terrible. You can see the card that's on the floor. It does look like it's only 1 card. And of course, angels are still showing up. Let's see if we can get, yeah. Okay. So we'll finish going through, and if nothing else comes out, we'll put them away. And we'll look at them in a moment. So, all right, let's talk about the overlying and underlying energy. All right, so these are the ones that I can see. This here. Okay, so let's do all the overlying energy together and then all the underlying energy together. Okay, so the first card that came out of the Akashic deck was the Lookout. We've talked about this card before. Basically, the police are coming. The boat is on fire. We've said that it's his perception is the most important part. He's up in the lookout. He's up in the crow's nest. He's not down on the ship fighting, running around, screaming, throwing cannonballs at people. And, we say like, he could be looking for the out in this situation, like how he's going to help himself, or he could be, looking at this situation as the ship is sinking, or he can just look at the situation as he's in a battle and the ship is on fire. He can look at the situation any way he wants. It depends on how he wants to look at it, right? And then we have the 2 of Scrolls. So this is 2 worlds. So a lot of times this is my dancing between 2 worlds card, and basically it to me usually the 2 worlds are between the 3D and the 5D, so the spiritual and then the physical world, right? And then we have the 4 of Roses, which are views of the ego. And in this one, there's 3 people staring into a mirror, but I think it's the guy in the center is staring back from the mirror, but like with ego or overconfidence. It's not talking about believing in yourself. It's talking about being egotistical and having this mirror show you that, right? And so this may not necessarily be your energy, Libra. This could be somebody that you're dealing with. I do believe the Lookout and the 2 worlds are your energy, and we'll get into why when we get into some of these other cards and then whatever came out, what else came out in the energy oracle. But the Universal Law card that came out for you for the overlying energy was the Law of Perfect Health. Listen to the divine guidance within your body. So again, this card kind of goes with the other cards. But obviously we have 3D, we have 5D on the table, right? A lot of times with the ego part of when we're actually trying to ascend, or we're trying to deepen, our spiritual awakening, a lot of times that ego can get in the way. So I feel like this is part of the toggling between the worlds, is that the ego either might be getting in the way or the ego just might be going away. It's possible. This Law of Perfect Health is just kind of telling me that, as far as like on the spiritual awakening, like taking care of yourself, like being up to this kind of is telling me that someone is overwhelmed and they're not really taking care of their health as much, that they're trying to deal with their situation. Sometimes the spiritual awakening can be like that, where it's like harder than it needs to be, or just hard in general. And we kind of struggle with that. And again, it's even worse when we don't have like people to talk to who are going through the same thing. And so it becomes like this struggle of, trying to balance things, trying to cope with things, trying to deal with, maybe the loss of our ego is just a small thing. A lot of people have trouble with that because you know, they don't understand where their identity ends and their ego begins, and how, you know, in certain situations, you're not going to get rid of your whole ego because you need it. But the parts of your ego that you do need to get rid of, and then how do you rip that apart, kind of thing. So people have a really hard time sometimes with that. And, you know, really, I think sometimes it helps to, you know, determine how you look at the ego, or how you look at yourself in terms of your ego, and figure out how much of your ego is you and how much of your ego is just your ego. You know what I mean? And we'll get back to that. So let's go to the Sands of Time. So this came out as an overlying energy for Gemini. This is kind of like use your time wisely. It's not necessarily time is running out, but sort of. There's an hourglass on the table in front of him, and the sands are also almost out of the hourglass. So it's kind of the like get back to work card, but mostly, you know, use your time wisely card. And then we have, so let's go to this one next. So we have this Four of Forces, which is the spring or the autumn card. And usually I like think of this as a timing card. And usually I'm picking like if it's spring or autumn kind of thing, you know. I think this card is more universal in saying that for like if you're watching this right before spring, then spring is your timing. And if you're watching this right before autumn, autumn is your timing. Because my readings don't really have any timing on them. They should find you when you need them. Or you should find them when you need them. But that's when they should be popping up for you. Sometimes it pops up a little early. Sometimes you watch it and you say, well, that's not really my situation, but that was a, you know, decent video or whatever. And then the thing happens and you've already been informed. So sometimes it's a possibility that a situation is coming and you don't realize that it's coming. And then this is your kind of like heads up, which brings us to the divine physician. A lot of times if we are in a spiritual awakening, this is what we're going towards. We might be stuck in our ego, and we might not be thinking about what we're actually capable of. And especially if someone was to say, hey, you're going to be a healer, or you're going to be this, you're going to be that, we might like, what are you talking about? You know, like I've said it before, especially if we're spending a lot of time in the 3D at the time that we hear that. What do you mean? So, you know, again, keep your mind open, you know, take care of yourself physically and emotionally so that, you know, when something does present itself to you like that, that you accept it, receive it, you understand that it's happening. It's not something that you glaze over because you think, oh, that's not for me. It might be. And then this is the law of perception. So look beyond the illusion to the one truth. So I always say that there's more than one truth. I think maybe this could be like your truth, because what might be true for you might not be true for someone else. But if you're the one that's on the ship that's on fire, then that's not really important, is it? You might want to stick with what you know is true for you, unless it's not working anymore. And then again, that's this. That's kind of like trying to do the same thing, thinking the same thing, because maybe even because it's worked for you before, right? But it's a possibility that this is saying that it's time to change that. It's time to change the way we used to do it, right? So let's do the ones we saw first. So the Angel of Balance. So this is kind of telling me too that the two worlds that you're toggling between, because that's really what's happening, that you can find balance in those two worlds. I usually say that the easiest way to do it, at least in the beginning, would be to incorporate the 5D into your 3D. You know, just through meditation or prayer, or like on a daily basis, or before you do a certain thing, you know, something that keeps you in a tradition, but on a daily basis, so that it keeps you anchored to that 5D world as you're in the 3D. You're already anchored to 3D. You need to try to keep yourself in the 5D as well, so that when things happen, when the ship is on fire, that you can kind of look beyond the flames and into the horizon to what's coming, right? Because you're gonna need to. This appreciation card is here. So a lot of times for me, this is manifestation. I don't necessarily see any specific manifestation on the table. There could be, and that could be like a timing card of when that's gonna be, spring or autumn. But realistically, I feel like even in situations where, well, we're always manifesting, but let's say even in situations where we're not consciously manifesting something that's important to us, we should still be experiencing appreciation, because again, we're always manifesting. But it keeps us in a vibration that's not that low 3D vibration. If we want to manifest from a 3D vibration, we're going to get stuff that we don't want every single time. And so that's appreciation is reminding us to I was just going to say manifest properly. We have first chakra, Archangel Michael. So now here we are with Archangel Michael, with being, you know, grounded and being secure in what we're trying to do, right? We're going to put him at the top. Stable, right? We bring us stability. So we also have man holding a coin. So I feel like this is possibly someone who's coming towards you, Libra, because I feel like these cards kind of go together. We have the first chakra, Archangel Michael. So I feel like that is like the stability, the base, you know, the foundation of something that's supposed to make you feel like comfortable and confident. And then I feel like this man holding a coin is actually presenting this coin to you. They're giving it to you. I always say it could be a man, could be a woman, could be holding anything, but I don't think it's a heart because we have the door to romance. It could be a heart, but again, like when we're balanced and we're looking at our situation and we're trying to, you know, evolve and sort of get rid of our ego and take care of ourselves and adjust our perception so that we can have appreciation for whatever we have so that we can bring better things on, a lot of times we're going to get the money and the love. So that's what this card is telling me. So we have the angel, we have the door. I guess we're gonna have to put her up here. And then I feel like this is all stuff that like comes together. This person brings stability. This person brings balance. This person brings money. This person brings love. This person brings you more things that you need to, like, that you can appreciate. More things to appreciate was what I was going to say. So, I think this is kind of telling you to look out for like what your shortcomings might be, like as you're trying to evolve or just trying to move forward in life. I mean, you are moving towards this divine physician and you do have angels on the table. So the spiritual awakening, I would say, maybe Alice can give us a clue as to what else. But you know, I always say too that when we become better people, we set ourselves up to meet better people, and then we set ourselves up to have better relationships and to get more things and to have more things to appreciate. That's what I see here on the table for you, Libra. Of course, the angel of balance, which is always what you're looking for. It's what I say we all look for. But I know that you want balance in your relationships. Okay. That card came out for Gemini. That's the nonsense card. Let's see what's happening here. Didn't even think about a previous relationship that we would be moving away from. It's possible with this timing and the sands of time and the ego. We could be moving away from an ego that isn't even our own. How many cards do I have? I'm going to pull one more. All right. Okay. So, nonsense came out. It's time to talk sense. Whew. Okay. So this looks like a past person. Wake up. It's your moment. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's put Door to Romance up here. We have Painting the Roses Red, which is covering up errors. I always call it covering up other people's errors. Let's double check. Set your course somewhere you wish to go. Have a plan, the right direction. Oh, the card I pulled. You are rare and free. There are not many like you. So this is the other half of the why you need to take care of your health or your perception and the sands of time. This looks like, so what it's showing me is like these energy cards are presenting to me someone who's coming towards you, and Alice is presenting to me someone who's moving away from you. And the thing is the person that's moving away from you may not be gone yet. We'll probably figure out, like, if we can get an idea of what stage you're in when we pull the moons. But these cards are actually telling me that towards the end, because you're on this ship and you're being told to set your course, right? And a lot of times I've had people say before that, like when they're on a ship or when they're sailing, like they feel free, you know, and this card I feel like is kind of saying like, you could go anywhere you want, you know, but more importantly as well, how special you are. You know, we have this divine physician on the table, and we have this, you know, if this is your ego card, then your ego dissolving on the table. I don't see too much problem between the two worlds. I feel like the two worlds is almost telling me that the person that you're leaving behind is stuck in the 3D, and the person that you're moving towards is trying to be a better person. I mean, maybe they're not in the 5D. They might be trying to be in the 5D. They might be aware of the 5D, know about it, be trying to manifest something to that effect. Somebody's going to come and bring you something that's better than what you have. And I don't mean like just better than what you have. I mean something to appreciate. Something to make you grateful, balance from what you've been getting, right? Because A, you deserve it, because you've worked for it, because you deserve it. There might be a little bit more work to do. You might not be the divine physician yet. If you're not the divine physician, that could be this person that's coming towards you. There's nothing to indicate on this other side that this person isn't on a spiritual awakening if you don't consider yourself to be. You're something though. You're either dancing between two worlds on the spiritual and the non-spiritual, the physical. I'll be honest, when I talk about incorporating things in you know, in your everyday, your 3D life, when I do protection, when I have protection prayers, I protect myself from anything physical or spiritual. So it's one of those things where it's telling you to marry the two. If you haven't figured that out already, we have the angel of balance on the table. Sometimes that's actually really hard to do, especially if you're fully ingrained in the 3D. You don't have enough time to do the things that you want to do there, considered to be like spiritual practices. I mean, we always say we make time, you know, whatever, but I get like having 2 jobs and not having time for a third one, you know? So I get it. I would like 2 more cards, please, for Libra from the moons. I'm going to go through it one more time. And if I don't get 2 more, I think I might pull 3. Oh, look at that. All right. All right. So, what do we got? New moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. So there might be a Capricorn involved with you, Libra, on this situation. Could be either the person that's coming towards you or the person that you're moving away from. You have first quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. Again, this is kind of telling me to tell you to take the helm. You know, that you know, if you're along for the ride on this boat, that it might be time to make a decision kind of thing. You know, this is telling you to set your course. So go where you want to go. Don't go where they want you to go. If this is the past person. If this is the new person coming in, then you want to be open, you know, be open to where they're trying to take you, especially if it's somewhere you've never gone before, because you deserve that. And then you have full moon in Leo, go wild. So there could be an Aries, a Capricorn, or a Leo involved with you, Libra. But it's telling you that once you set your course, to go for it. Don't worry about things that are trying to hold you back from what you're trying to do. So don't pay those things, you know, too much consideration or respect if they're taking you away from where you're trying to be. You have 2 energies with you right now. You have your 2 worlds. You have your perception of it. You have your ego or someone else's ego, which may or may not be in the way. You have your health to consider. So for some of you, you've either let your health go or you need to go get something checked. Maybe somebody told you, but you didn't experience any symptoms, and you know, it's a possibility that if you don't get this checked, you could start experiencing symptoms. And then we have a timing of either spring or autumn. I think it really could be either, and I swear that even if it was supposed to be this spring and you didn't come out of it for whatever reason, then it's pushed back to autumn kind of thing. It all depends on you, how you want to look at it, when you want to start making moves to get out of it, how you want to handle it, what you want reflected back to you when you do handle it. Law of perception and where you're going, right? The divine physician. So Libra, I'm ready to pull the blind spot. I really want to see what's holding us back in this situation. I want to see what angels will show up for us, or which advice will show up for us to tell us, kind of help, to help move us forward. I mean, the best thing that I can tell you, if you're not coming to the extended, the link will be in the description, is that truly right now we've got 2 perception cards on the table. So how are you looking at your situation? Is everything doom and gloom? Because if there's stuff in there to appreciate and you're not appreciating it, keep in mind sometimes that, things won't always be there that you're not appreciating. If you're looking at everything as doom and gloom, more doom and gloom is going to come to you, and you might even be losing stuff that you actually appreciate that you're not acknowledging. And that can be hard too, in a spiritual awakening. So you're being told to look out for that. To look out for that ego. If the ego's not on the way, fine, just be aware of it. You need some of it for something. And then these 2 worlds need to be balanced. So if you're doing too much of the 3D and you're forgetting about your spiritual stuff, get yourself back to a point where you're trying to balance that. If you're too much in the spiritual and you're forgetting about the 3D stuff, again, balance that. You want to balance that. And then, just remember that you need to have a plan if you're moving forward to set your course, especially if someone's holding you back. But if you're far from where you want to be and you're moving towards someone else and that person isn't even in sight yet, you're at the top of this boat, but you can't see them, then just start putting your life into a direction that you want it to go, that you'd want it to go with someone else, so that you align with that when they align with that, so that when you come together, you're ready, right? Stepping into your power. So I hope this helped, Libra. And if you're coming to the extended, again, the link will be in the description. And if not, until we meet again.